So I want to start here before we get into all of it. I think that is just such a great prime example of how basketball is so great.
Yeah.
Like that basketball game is everything that like I love about the sport. It's the chess match that was back and forth throughout the game in terms of Indiana trying to figure out any way to get stops. It felt like
yes,
the perseverance and the willingness to fight back, all of the like kind of stuff that you hear off the court permeating into who you are on the court, and Tyrese Halliburton getting told he's overrated. He's this, he's that for, 2 months now or whatever. Right. And hitting that shot in MSG to theoretically win, but instead only tie the game. Go to the choke symbol that Reggie Miller made famous. What is that? 30 years ago, 31 years ago now?
It's crazy.
It's an unbelievable basketball moment. There was something for everybody in this game. There was something for the people who love the drama. There was something for people that love the X's and O's. There was something for people who just enjoy the sheer athleticism and ability of these human beings on the court. It was a truly beautiful basketball game. And that is what is like the thing that sticks with me the most.
And to be clear, my overrated joke was actually going to be about Jalen Brunson and the Knicks being better with Jalen Brunson not on the court, when I thought they were going to win this game by double digits when he had 5 fouls early in the fourth quarter. And then they decided to go on a run. And so, like I said, I had this all lined up ready to go. It was going to be so funny. It was going to be the best dad joke in the history of Game Theory podcast. And then Aaron Nesmith just ruins it by going crazy. And we had shot making, we had non-shot making, we had all these little plays within the game. I think the most one of the biggest plays of the game, people will give Carlisle credit for holding his challenge and making the challenge. It should have never been that. OG just catches the freaking ball and the game is probably going to be over if he catches and scores. And so that's the part that has been overlooked. I will do a video breakdown. I assume it will be titled The Meltdown in Madison Square Garden for Knicks Film School. And I will highlight that play because it just catch the ball. I thought OG was not good tonight in general. And that one play wasn't the only thing. I just thought he looked off throughout the game. I'm sure we'll talk about individual players throughout. Halliburton, of course. And then I want to quickly shout out Andrew Nembhard. Like, this dude just makes winning basketball plays and momentum buckets. I think he scored almost half his points in overtime all of a sudden whenever they really, momentum shifted back and forth. It looked like maybe New York had found it. And then he comes out and starts making shots as well. It was, like you said, there was a little bit of something for everybody, every fan of the game of basketball, or just competitive competition. It's redundant. Tonight on Wednesday.
So let's maybe start with Naismith and the comeback, right? So the crazy thing is, I was ready to talk about the 10-0 run that they went on without Jalen Brunson. That was really the key to the game and everything. But now all of this insanity happens. Aaron Naismith scores 17 in the final 3-16 of this game. He drills 5 threes and then gets fouled on another shot, right? Or right before he shoots the ball, I guess, because they were fouling up 3.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can remember a bigger 3-minute run than Naismith just drilling those shots. And one thing that we talked about coming into the series was what were going to be the 2 things for the Knicks that were incredibly important in this series. A, not getting cross-matched in transition. B, finding a way to deal with how the Indiana Pacers relentlessly attack different mismatches across the court. And if you look at those threes from Naismith, one of them comes on Towns getting cross-matched and him in transition. Towns goes under a screen. Naismith drills one. 2 of them, I believe, were on situations where they attacked Brunson in space, and either Naismith got the flare screen out to the left wing, or they attacked Brunson downhill, got past him, forced help from Josh Hart, and then kicked out to Aaron Naismith. Those three moments there were kind of indicative of the way that the Pacers really play and really try to put pressure on you, and why throughout the playoffs, as we've learned, there is never a game that is dead with the Pacers. Like, they are able to keep coming because of the pressure that they put on you throughout the course of all of those little moments.
And I think that's what's got to be disappointing for the Knicks is I actually thought through the majority of this game, I thought there was a stretch in the second quarter where they rested a little bit and didn't really focus on getting the right matchups in transition. They didn't have the correct sense of urgency. And then late in the game, and I mean, we'll talk about at the end of this portion of the episode in terms of what this means going forward. But I hope it's not a lesson learned too late, but you can't rest. 3 minutes to go. You can't rest. You have to continue to get the right matchups in transition. You have to continue to fight through screens and not give up mismatches, because Indiana will poke and prod and pick until they get what they want. And listen, like, was ridiculous shot making from Naismith? Sure. And is he going to do it again? Maybe not, but you just can't. They've proven over and over, if you give them a little bit of a window, they will take advantage of it. And it's always somebody. And tonight it was him.
Yeah, no, it's 100% right. Just a wildly impressive shot making performance from Aaron Naismith. And to me, it's more that than the Knicks choking. And I think we can say choke here. I feel comfortable using that word here because that's what this ended up being from the Knicks, unfortunately. They were up, I believe it was 111-94 after the Towns 3 at the 6:26 mark. They were up. I believe it was, what is it here? It's,
well, they were
115-101. So 14 points with 4 minutes left, 116-102 with 3:44 left, and then 119-105.
That's
2:51 left.
That's where it starts. So Naismith's first three is after the Brunson free throw, and he cuts it 105-116. And you're like, okay, maybe Indiana has something. And Brunson drills a step back three to extend it back to 14. And then Tyrese goes down and immediately answers right away to make it 108-119. And then I think the number that's getting overlooked, Brunson gets a bucket, a tough bucket downhill, and they're up 9 with 58 seconds left in the game. And they're up 8 with 41 seconds. So all of these numbers are floating like a team that's up 14 with over 2 minutes and 30 seconds or 2 minutes. Like, I wonder what the numbers are. A team that's up 8 with 40 seconds left in the playoffs. Like, how many times has that team lost in the playoffs? Because it's ridiculous throughout the entire final 4 or 5 minutes. Every time you look, it's like, well, Knicks are still winning. Knicks are still winning. And then it just, it gets ridiculous.
It is genuinely wild that that's where this game ended up. It was an 8-point game with 41 seconds left after that Towns layup from Bridges. Naismith just drills 2 threes, and you're 1,000% right that the OG Anunoby drop is really what costed the Knicks the game here.
So it was a 5-point game when this happens. Naismith hits the 3. They're down 5. Brunson gets down the floor. The Pacers defense is kind of scrambled, and OG is standing under the rim by himself under 30 seconds. He either scores, and it's a 7-point lead with under 30 seconds, and obviously the clock rolling after they inbound it, or even if he just holds on to it and ends up going to, runs out some more clock and then goes to the free throw line. But he bobbles it. Who was it that made the play? I guess Siakam. Siakam comes in.
I think it was Siakam, yeah.
Gets ball, then gets armed. They overturn it. I believe, did it go to jump ball? No, it's just Pacers ball. Naismith makes another 3. That's the one, I think, where Josh Hart slipped trying to contest. And then another underrated aspect, Cat goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. OG goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Think about those, Sam. Like everybody talks about, well, if Tyrese's toe wasn't on the line, the game would have been over. If OG makes it both free throws or Cat makes both free throws, the Knicks win because Tyrese's foot is on the line and we don't even go to overtime. So a lot of fault to go around to the Knicks and a lot of credit to go around to the Pacers with plays that they made as well.
I honestly do. I understand that Knicks fans are going to be incredibly disappointed by this result. And look, GMAC in the group chat, I'll share, already dropped. This is the worst loss in Knicks history. Look, I said that I think anytime you lose game 7 in the finals, that probably has to be the worst. And that's what happened in 1994 against the Rockets. But I do understand. Like, this feels worse to me than the Reggie Miller game. It just does. You're up 17 with 6 minutes left. You're up 14 with 3 minutes left. Naismith drills 5 threes. And by the way, Halliburton, we haven't even gotten to that yet, drills the game theoretically winning shot, ends up being the tying shot off of a ball that bounces 7 feet in the air? Yeah. Something like that.
Above the rim, 7 feet above the rim.
It bounced 7 feet above the rim, probably. Drops. And then he hits the choke symbol, like to Reggie Miller commentating the game. Like, it's gotta feel terrible if you're a Knicks fan. And I do think the Knicks made some like strategic momentary lapses in terms of picking up guys in transition, in terms of like really staying attached in certain situations. But like, some of this was just fucking great shot making, man.
Yeah.
Like they just drilled shots, Bryce. Like that's the reality here.
They're relentless. If I had a word for the Pacers, it would be relentless. They come out and they're full court pressing the Knicks to start the game and they just keep going. TJ McConnell is relentless in terms of attacking the paint. I thought Tyrese was really good tonight. I don't even think they got their best from Siakam for the majority of their game. And, Nembhard was quiet until overtime. I thought Miles Turner was not good in this game. And I've loved Miles Turner in these playoffs. But they're just relentless. They just keep coming. They got stuff from Obi Toppin. It just is what they are. Here's what I will say. I think we should pump the brakes just a touch on worst loss in Knicks playoff history until we see the result of this series. Because if the Knicks win this game in 6, nobody's going to care that they lost this game. Kind of
all forgotten.
Yeah. Or like, what if this is the catapult to like finding their toughness and whatever, or like, hey, we never let off the gas for 48 minutes and that propels them to win 3 other games in the series close. Now, it may be a catastrophe and they lose the game in 4 because they can't overcome what happened tonight. I'm not saying that is what will happen. I'm just saying what ends up happening in this series probably ends up determining how bad of a loss this was. They lose this in 7. Okay, sure. Like, let's start categorizing it. But if they end up winning this series, we'll all remember this game because it was incredible, but it doesn't end up being as big of a deal if you still make it to the NBA finals.
Here's the other thing now, like we can actually get into the strategy conversation a little bit more now.
Yep.
I mean, look, we talked about the Nembhard on Brunson matchup in terms of like why we don't think that would work. And it took 1 half for the Pacers to go, no, we can't have Nembhard guard Brunson. He had 18 in the first half. And immediately to start the second half, it's Naismith on Brunson. Like it did not take long for them to realize, no, we can't do this. So the Knicks made them adjust first in this game. And to me, like that says a lot about what the Knicks did really well in this game and why, if I'm a Knicks fan, like a big piece of this is obviously going to be like how you respond from this cataclysmic moment in some ways.
Sure.
But B, I'm feeling okay about like what we saw. You know what I mean? Like, I think that genuinely the Knicks put the Pacers in tougher spots tonight than the Pacers put the Knicks. It's just that the Pacers ended up getting an 8 of 9 3-point performance from Aaron Naismith that included 5 threes in 3 minutes to end the game.
Yeah, listen, I'm with you. Like, this is a game, and this is why it feels really bad that you lose. This is a game where Cat has 35 on 17 and Brunson has 43 on 25. Now, maybe the Pacers say, like, those guys don't do that again. But from my initial watch, I don't think the Indiana guarded him that well. Like, I don't think Indiana does have a great matchup for Jalen Brunson. They tried McConnell. We talked about that. They tried Mathurin. That was a disaster. So I don't think they have a great matchup. Again, I love Miles Turner. You will not find a bigger supporter. He did not look good trying to guard Karl-Anthony Towns. It was either a 3-pointer or it was a downhill drive. And then he wasn't making him pay as much on the other end after the hot start. If I'm New York, it's easy. Continue to play through those guys, get OG figured out. And then defensively, it's very simple in terms of what you have to do. Doing it is another story. Get matched in transition, Sam, and stop switching. If you can fight through screens and not soft switch, only switch when you absolutely have to, I think they'll be okay. Because when they were with their right matchups and stayed with their right matchups, I felt pretty comfortable with their defense. It's when things got a little bit too sped up in the pace and all of that, where I'm like, okay, well, now they got him out of sorts. And like you said, and then Indiana, to their credit, banged a bunch of shots.
Yep. That's it. Like, Indiana went nuts there at the end. Before that, I thought that they actually did like a pretty good job of keeping Indiana on the leash in terms of like getting out to 3-point shooters and making sure that they were like fairly, well in tune with what you needed to be in tune with throughout the course of this game. Like, I thought that they played to the scout at a really, really high level against this team. It's just that it all fell apart for a 3-minute stretch, and that 3-minute stretch was unbelievable. And look, again, like, credit to Rick Carlisle, being willing to make those moves in terms of defensive matchups so early. A lot of coaches don't want to do that early in a series because of what that says about like, oh wait, like we think we might not have this right. We think we might be in some trouble. No, like he was just like, no, we're going to adjust this. We're going to go move. We're going to go and make sure that we switch this, and we're going to put Nembhard on Bridges. We're going to put Naismith on Jalen Brunson, and we're going to go and attack it that way now. Right. Like, just the willingness to make those moves so early was really, really sharp to me and said a lot.
Yeah. And if I'm Indiana, I'm really thinking about strategically putting 2 on Brunson at different points of the game. I thought they really frustrated him. That's one area where his lack of size truly comes into play, because he's not super tall. I mean, he almost gave up a really bad turnover late in that game where he tried to throw it off. He got doubled in the corner against the full court press, tried to throw it off their leg or their foot or whatever. And luckily no other Pacers player was, rotating up to steal, and OG ended up grabbing it. But I think Brunson, I mean, if there was one thing that you point at, he had 7 turnovers in this game. So the scoring was good, even though he wasn't great from 3, but he had 7 turnovers. So I don't think you do it all game long, but if I'm Indiana after timeouts, after we make free throws and can set up some full court pressure stuff, and then, okay, let's go jump him right at half court. Just strategically throughout a game, 8 to 12 times a game, I'm running 2 at him and seeing how he handles it and how the Knicks handle it. And if you can do it with certain other lineups on whenever, okay, well, they don't have great shot makers or they don't have great guys to play out of this, I would really look at doing that, because I thought when they did it, they were able to disrupt him a little bit.
Yeah, and look, like the Pacers bench tonight, outside of Obi Toppin, like those lineups got obliterated.
Yep.
Like Thomas Bryant, -11, did not look great to me. TJ McConnell minutes were not great tonight. I didn't think. They did try to do the thing that I said, like where they annoy Brunson with him for little stretches. And I didn't think that went well. Ben Mathurin, like I just kind of felt like he got lost. They tried to like occasionally have him on Brunson, like switching onto him and things like that. And like that didn't feel like it was going super, super well. So And I should mention Ben Shepherd. Like Ben Shepherd gave them really, really good minutes late, but like the normal bench crew for the Pacers tonight, like did not have a particularly good night outside of Toppin and then that little last run from Shepherd. So if I'm the Knicks, like I'm feeling like, okay, maybe I can take advantage of those minutes a little bit more than what I expected coming into the series. So the other thing that I do just want to point out about the Pacers though, and we said this about their series with the Cavs as well. This is like people look at them led by like Tyrese Halliburton and Nembhard and like Siakam is kind of skinny. Miles Turner's kind of skinny, like all these like kind of skinnier dudes. Right. And I think that they don't look at them because they're an offense first team as being like a team of dogs. This team is filled with like absolute junkyard dogs. They get to loose balls before everybody else. All the time, every single moment they are getting to loose balls. It feels like before their opponent. It happened against Milwaukee. It happened against Cleveland. I felt like it happened tonight against the Knicks. Like this team is a bunch of just like absolute competitive dogs that go out and they fight and they scratch and they claw for every inch on the court. And then, oh, by the way, they do really run in transition at an exceptionally high level and putting a crazy amount of pressure on you with that ability to get out in transition. Like they are incredibly well conditioned and they do not get tired in part because they play those bench minutes. Like this is a awesome basketball team that I think is more competitive and physical than what they get credit for being.
Yeah, and honestly, I felt like Carlisle actually shrunk his rotation a little bit in terms of like, we didn't even sniff Jarris Walker tonight, and we didn't sniff Ben Shepherd until those later minutes. And so it'll be interesting to see what he does. I don't expect to see Walker. I wonder if we see some Shepherd because those minutes did go okay. I know it was only 7. And then I will also just point out, we give Brunson a ton of credit, and rightfully so, and he almost did it in overtime in terms of putting on the cape and being a closer. Tyrese Halliburton's done a pretty good job making big shots in big moments. And
unbelievable.
One thing's for sure, he sure as hell ain't scared of the moment. And I know he rubs a lot of fan bases the wrong way. And for whatever reason, a lot of people think he's overrated. Like not even like whatever that vote was. I've talked to people in a world we live in that like
in the Midwest, let's go with
sure. That are just like, he's overrated. He's not that, like, people I respect, like why you like Halliburton. Like, the dude is good. And you may not like his celebrations. You may not like whatever. You may not like his swagger, but the confidence is real and he has the talent to back it up. He had a tough bucket in overtime as well, where he attacked the paint, took contact and finished. I thought he had a really, really nice game tonight.
Tyrese was amazing tonight. I thought he was outstanding. 31 points, 11 assists, 2 turnovers. Like, what are we doing? I mean, the guy is unbelievable at running his team.
I also want to say real quick, because like old people like my dad, God love him, it's like the no look pass thing is like, like I wasn't allowed to throw no look passes and behind the back passes whenever I was like in high school because it was, whatever. But it's like, his eye, now that we call it eye manipulation, it's okay, right? It's okay if it's eye manipulation, but his is truly eye manipulation. Like it's a totally practical use of looking defenders off is my point here. He will look somewhere and you can watch the defender actively move exactly where Tyrese wants him to move.
On top of this is where the jump pass thing becomes effective.
Yes.
Like, he is so good at using the eye manipulation with a plan ahead of time before he jumps, and then makes the pass as he jumps. Like, it's so smart in the way that he goes about it. Like, the overrated thing drives me insane. This guy is clearly one of the best players in the NBA. Yeah. Like, it's just not even a question to me at this point. He's gotten better on defense too. He's at least like willing to compete on that end. He carries like this offense in a real way. He's unbelievable. And on top of that, what we're seeing now is genuinely the thing that you brought up to start. He's one of the most clutch players in the NBA. Brunson deserved the clutch player of the year. I'm not going to sit here and argue against Jalen Brunson. Undeniably, Jalen Brunson should have been the clutch player of the year in the NBA. Tyrese Halliburton is not far off. It just isn't. He is unbelievable in those big moments.
Yeah. I mean, game 1, Eastern Conference Finals in the Garden, and he hits that shot. It's like, I don't know. He's about it. And that's what I love is
he's competitive.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good dude off the court, but like he is a absolute dog competitor. Like that dude cares, man. And he plays winning basketball.
And we talk about, and that's why I like Nembhard as well, man, because I don't very few games do the box score stats go like, oh, this is an incredible performance. I swear, whenever I don't know how many Pacers full game notes I have, probably 20 plus at this point. Every single one says the same thing. Physical driver, physical defender, makes big shots, makes momentum shots. When his team needs him to make a momentum shot, he's willing to do it. And it's almost more impressive because he may go 7 or 8 minutes without touching the ball. I mean, he touched it, but without shooting the ball. And it's like, hey, we need you to bang this transition 3 in overtime. Okay, I got you. No sweat. And it's like, and that was one big Miles Turner play. Again, I don't think he was great tonight. Transition block, maybe transition goaltend, wasn't called, but that block into the Nembhard 3 going the other way was a big sequence in overtime. Also, I've been a huge Josh Hart defender. That was an egregious ball watching that gave up the backdoor to Nembhard in overtime as well. Like, You cannot have that happen. And that's to our point here defensively, right? When they're locked in and focused, communicating, all of that, the New York defense was pretty solid. It just got too lax. And that was really, really bad from Hart in that situation.
Yeah, it was. I agree. Completely agree. And look, I think that they took the foot off the pedal.
Agree.
To be honest with you, like defensively and in terms of their engagement, I think they took the foot off the pedal too much.
Sam, I took the foot off the pedal. I put my computer in my bedroom to charge for the recording because I'm like, okay, I don't really need notes for the end of this. Even when Nesmith had hit a few, I was like, well, this is really cool. Hope he doesn't waste all of them for the rest of the series. And well, I guess you're not wasting it whenever you steal a game 1 after being down 14 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. So much fun. Yeah. So much fun, man.
So the Pacers have home court now.
Yeah.
That's what this results in. I mean, what happens for the series?
I was gonna say, what do you think?
I think we're just getting an all-timer. To be honest,
what's game 2? What's game 2? What do you think?
I think the Knicks come back and win.
I think so too. If they don't, this is all-time Doug comment. They're in real trouble, right? Like you can't drop game 2, obviously. I think they respond. I find it hard to believe this team has gotten to where they're at, been through what they've been through, all of that. Now, here's the thing. I don't think Indiana is a team to be like, hey, we got one, we went in and stole it, and we're just chilling, and we'll go back to Indiana game 3. New York's going to have to earn it. But I think I'm with you. I will be very disappointed if we don't see just like a real response from that team. But it's not easy to do it because you go through a little bit of shock and then the pity and poor us. And then why did it happen? And you got to get through all of that in 48 hours and be ready to go on Friday night. Yeah.
No, I think we get a Knicks win on Friday night. And I think that this is going to be an all-timer. I genuinely think that this series is just going to be an all-timer is where I'm at. Like, maybe that's my heart. Maybe I'm just rooting for this incredible basketball series. And I hope that we get it. And I think we're going to get it from these two teams. I think they're so tightly matched. We talked about that in the series preview that we did. Like, I think that these two teams are so well matched against one another that I can't look at it any other way and just say that, I feel good picking one team or another right now. I said Knicks in 7 before the series and didn't feel great about it. I don't know what I would say now after that. I think it's just an unbelievable series that we're going to get. I truly think we're going to get a great, great basketball series here.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm with you. I feel the same way. I'm a touch nervous that that's just my heart and what I want to happen. But just scrolling my timeline tonight, it was cool. You could just see NBA fans in general, just like, this is awesome basketball. This is amazing. Kind of like the text you sent in our group chat. There was a lot of that sentiment of, for people who didn't maybe have a dog in the fight or whatever, we're just like, this is awesome. This is what we love about sports. And I hope we get multiple more games of it.
It's exactly right. I mean, it's just genuinely such a cool situation to get to watch all of these games, and the playoffs have been amazing. Obviously, feels like more people are tuning in for the playoffs. I love it. I love it unconditionally.